Dear brothers, happy Monday to all of you. One of the greatest corruptions of a man's mind, specifically today, is our concept of how long it takes to accomplish something. Starting a business, working on a project, changing a habit, whatever. It can only be by the fact that we have lived such lives of ease that we fall into this trap that excellence takes little to no time. We have almost all been handed the keys to a car, new cell phones, clothes, money, jobs, participation trophies. So much has been given to us that we haven't earned. We just showed up and voila, everything is there for us. So as this life of ours, of this ease continues, we develop bad habits, as is the natural order of life. There's a term called malakos. I may be saying that wrong, but malakos in Greek, which means to be soft and perverse as a result of luxurious living. When we develop this sense of malakos, we will create a host of unmanly actions. This may be lack of strength, lack of perseverance, lack of knowledge, a severe lack of discipline, lack of duty and honor and strong relationships. What results from this lack is mostly a man who is nothing but a boy. Unhardened, unproven, self-righteous, underdeveloped boy. That kind of boy today is dangerous. He is selfish, greedy, lethargic, controlled by his emotions, which in turn creates a pretty difficult life. The extra weight they now have has led to diabetes. The lack of exercise has led to fragile bones and consistent injuries, constant visits to the hospital. The ignorance of social affairs leads to a lack of skills. An undisciplined existence leads to an instability maintaining a job or finding success. You've got guys going from job to job or fantasy to fantasy without really any contribution to the world. This selfish road leads to little, if any, meaningful relationships. Who would want to spend time with someone who is so self-serving and so self-righteous and so lazy? In some capacity, all of us, including myself, have fallen prey to this malakos, this life of ease, this softness. Strictly by being born in the US, for those of you listening in the States, we are subject to overindulgence. We've had abundance most of our lives. Even for those of you willing to not accept that. Almost everyone in the country has a computer strapped to their hand 24/7. There are certainly people who are really struggling and who are in the dumps and have very tough lives. This message isn't for them. They're the ones that are grinding and trying to make things work. This is for those of us who have softened in some area of our lives, who have allowed ourselves to become shells of what a man really is. Our life of ease has made us nothing but doughy, unintelligent boy men. Never growing up, never getting better. All of you listening know that there is something in your life that has become softened, something that has less hardiness than it should. It might be your relationships. It might be your level of knowledge. It might be your weight or your lack of fitness. There is an area that needs to be addressed. Recognition of this negative or of this softening is always part one. You have to see that you have fallen short of the mark and understand that you need to make a change. We've talked about that plenty on this show. But this is where it can get a little tricky. Most men will then try to correct this softened part of them, thinking that it will not be terribly hard. Much like their life to this point, they think it should come easy. Why would making a change be that hard? Nothing else has been. Worse than that, why should it take a long time? Everything else has happened so quickly in my life when I needed it. Why shouldn't correction of my difficulty also be quick? When we are soft, being soft means that taking a punch hurts more. It takes more effort and time to become resistant to the blows that creating self-disciplined effort requires. You are just a doughy blob of material at the moment, specifically in that area you're struggling with. To become strong, unbreakable, to be the best sword you could be, you have to go through a transformation. You have to be put through the fire. You've got to go through high heat, perseverance, patience, difficulty, maybe even some loss. And there must be an understanding that this takes time. You can't undo 15 years of bad habits in a few days. You can't undo 50 pounds of weight gain in a couple of weeks or with a pill or an injection. You can't undo a decade of self-loathing in a single therapist session. You can't mend a marriage or a relationship with a single phone call or after reading a few pages from a self-help book. This is where the old adage about Rome, which titles this episode, comes into play. James Clear wrote that Rome wasn't built in a day, but they were laying bricks every hour. You don't have to build everything you want today, just lay a brick. End quote. You will not be able to lose 50 pounds in a week, but you can certainly lose a pound, 2 pounds a week. Do that across 3 months and you're going to be down 12 to 24 pounds. Another 3 months and you might be on the precipice of losing all that weight being gone off of you. But that sounds too easy. What will it really take to make that happen? You may have to lay the brick of no alcohol down for 6 months. Each day, another brick in the fortress goes down when you don't have a drink. You may have to get into the gym 3 to 4 days a week. Every time you show up to the gym, another brick gets laid down. You may have to track your calories each day. Maybe just track your protein. Every time you input what you ate and you have to look at that face to face, that brick is being laid down. Guess what, fellas? Bricklaying can suck. Can be very hard work, especially for those of you who have actually laid bricks down. It takes effort. It can hurt. You're going to cut your hands. You're going to drop a brick on your toe and curse. You're going to have to break a few of them and put them back together because they didn't fit well. But after a time, that wall will be built. Your fortress is coming together. You are conquering that weight gain. You're improving your knowledge. You're becoming a better husband and father and friend. You're breaking the chains of addiction, maybe. You are becoming a more whole man. Our softness cannot be fixed in a day, nor is there a quick fix for it. You just have to keep putting down bricks, boys. Brick by brick, your Rome can get built. So corny, but what a way to end the day. God bless, be strong. Let's get after it, boys.